Learning never exhausts the mind. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Time stays long enough for anyone who will use it. Poor is the pupil who does not surpass his master. People of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Being willing is not enough. We must do. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Experience never gets it wrong. It is only your judgment that makes wrong by promising themselves effects such as are not caused by your experiments. All our knowledge has its origins in our perceptions. Although nature commences with reason and ends in experience, it is necessary for us to do the opposite. That is, to commence with experience, and from this, to proceed to investigate the reason. There are 4 powers: memory and intellect, desire and covetousness. The 2 first are mental, and the others sensual. The 3 senses, sight, hearing, and smell, cannot well be prevented. Touch and taste, not at all. Just as food eaten without appetite is a tedious nourishment, so does study without zeal damage the memory by not assimilating what it absorbs. All knowledge which ends in words will die as quickly as it came to life, with the exception of the written word, which is its mechanical part. The truth of things is the chief nutriment of superior intellects. Life well spent is long. Common sense is that which judges the things given to it by other senses. Knowledge of the past and of places of the earth is the ornament and food of the mind of man. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so a life well spent brings happy death. Men of elevated genius, when they're doing the least work, are most active. Painting is poetry that is seen rather than felt, and poetry is painting that is felt rather than seen. A painter should begin every canvas with a wash of black, because all things in nature are dark, except where exposed by the light. Study without desire spoils the memory, and it retains nothing that it takes in. The painter has the universe in his mind and hands. Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence. I love those who can smile in trouble. One can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery of oneself. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first understood. If you're alone, you belong entirely to yourself. If you're accompanied by even one companion, you belong only half to yourself, or even less, in proportion to the thoughtlessness of his conduct. And if you have more than one companion, you will fall more deeply into the same dilemma. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. There are 3 classes of people: those who see when they're shown, those who do not see. Principles for the development of a complete mind. Study the science of art. Study the art of science. Develop your senses, especially learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. It is easier to resist at the beginning than at the end. One has no right to love or hate anything if one has not acquired a thorough knowledge of its nature. Great love springs from great knowledge of the beloved objects, and if you know it but little, you will be able to love it only a little or not at all. I thought I was learning to live. I was only learning to die. You will never have a greater or lesser power than that over yourself. The height of a man's success is gauged by his self-mastery, the depth of his failure by his self-abandonment, and this law is the expression of eternal justice. He who cannot establish power over himself will have no power over others. Realize that everything connects to everything else. Make your work to be in keeping with your purpose. Where the spirit does not work with the hand, there is no art. A poet knows he has achieved perfection not when there's nothing left to add, but when there's nothing left to take away. I awoke only to find that the rest of the world was still asleep. Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. In rivers, the water that you touch is the last of what is past and the first of that which comes, so with present time. He who wishes to be rich within a day will be hanged within a year. Wisdom is the daughter of experience. Details make perfection, and perfection is not a detail. A well-spent day brings happy sleep. All knowledge which ends in words will die as quickly as it came to life, with the exception of the written word, which is its mechanical part. Knowledge of the past and of places of the earth is the ornament and food of the mind of man.